Hi everyone, it's me Lubna. Today is Sunday, August 4th, 2024. This video is dedicated to my beloved, and the topic of this video is going to be about freedom, what freedom really means, and how freedom is related to responsibility. And as you know, I've been reading this book, Man's Search for Himself by the psychologist Rollo May. And I wanted to share a few lines from this book again in relation to the topic that I wanted to talk about today. So let me go ahead and read those aloud to you first. To be sure, any thinking person realizes in theory that freedom and responsibility go together. If one is not free, one is an automaton, and there is obviously no such thing as responsibility. And if one cannot be responsible for himself, he can't be trusted with freedom. But when one has chosen himself, this partnership of freedom and responsibility becomes more than a nice idea. He experiences it on his own pulse. In his choosing himself, he becomes aware that he has chosen personal freedom and responsibility for himself in the same breath. The other thing which happens is that discipline from the outside is changed into self-discipline. He accepts discipline not because it is commanded, for who can command someone who has been free to take his own life, but because he has chosen with greater freedom what he wants to do with his own life, and discipline is necessary for the sake of the values he wishes to achieve. So that's all I wanted to read from this passage for now. And let me talk about that further now. So when we're young, when we're, for example, teenagers, our idea of freedom often has to do with being free to just do whatever we want. And we don't think about responsibility, and we don't think about freedom being related to being able to work hard for something that you want for yourself. We think of freedom as maybe not going to school or not having to, work or whatever, just freedom to just have fun. That's our idea when we're teenagers or when we're young. However, in this book, in that passage that I just read to you, Rollo May kind of introduces this idea of freedom as something related to responsibility and growing up. As you get older and as you separate from your parents and become your own person, you start to develop your own dreams and your own goals and your own vision of who you want to be and what you want to do. And that may or may not be aligned with your parents' vision for you, or society's vision for you, or plan for you, or goal for you. You're the one who decides what you want to do and who you want to be. And sometimes that can be very lonely, because when you decide something that you want to be, when nobody else believes in you, nobody around you believes in you or supports your decision, then you're left to your own devices. And so freedom in that sense comes at the cost of security with other people, security that comes from your parents, for example. Sometimes you have to give that up in order to become free, to be who you want to be. And so when you're free to finally be who you want to be, it's not easy. It's not the easy kind of freedom that we think of when we are a teenager or when we're young, that freedom to just have fun and do what you want. The freedom that comes with choosing what you want to do and who you want to be comes with the responsibility of working hard for the sake of what you believe in. And for example, for me, a type of freedom is being able to read books and analyze them and look for meaning in them, and then create something like this video to share what I've learned and what my thoughts are on what I read. And that is something that I love to do, and something that I want to do. I want to be some type of a lecturer or a writer or a philosopher or a psychologist. And perhaps that's not what other people would want me to be. And for example, my parents have a very different vision of what I should be rather than what I want to be. And it's my responsibility to work hard toward fulfilling this vision that I have for myself and the person that I want to be. And as you see, making these videos is a sort of a freedom for me to be able to express myself. But it requires a lot of hard work and effort too. And I feel like oftentimes I'm not believed in or supported by those closest to me, but I still work hard anyway because I have this goal and this dream for myself. So in that sense, what Rollo May is saying is that freedom, in the more mature definition of the word freedom, comes with responsibility and requires self-discipline. We should think of freedom as the freedom to create ourselves and to create the person that we want to be, and to create something lasting that would be our contribution to the universe, that would be something that we leave behind when we're gone. And in order to do that, we need to work at it every single day. We need to have self-discipline, and we need to be courageous and responsible. It's really a responsibility to fulfill whatever purpose you have in life. If you're free to choose what you want to be, then it's your responsibility to fulfill that goal and that vision. So I hope that my video today has inspired you to think of freedom in a different way. Instead of thinking of freedom as simply being carefree and free to do whatever you want to do without having any responsibility whatsoever, let's think of freedom as something that you're responsible for cultivating. And if you have freedom for yourself to be who you want to be, it's your responsibility to chase after that goal or that vision or that dream. If you don't do that, you're gonna be betraying yourself, and it'll be a disservice to humanity if you don't chase after that vision and that dream that you have within you. So I hope that you learned something very valuable from my video today and from what I've shared in the book I'm reading. And thank you for listening to my video. I want to wish you a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, or whatever it is, wherever you are in the world.